So today, easy day. We got 1, 2, 3 new destinations because we got JFK, hadn't been there before yet, and Syracuse was new, and Pittsburgh is new. So 3 today. Tomorrow, like I said, we start off super early. We're going to go from Pittsburgh back to JFK again, and then we will be heading off to Nassau, and then from Nassau, we're going to go over to San Juan, Puerto Rico. So
Puerto Rico. Okay, let's get on the JetBlue. Puerto Rican Santa.
Puerto Rican Santa.
Always a sucker for a new watch. Ready to plot and plan, huh? Leaving Puerto Rico. Hey, last flight of the day. This is number what? How many have we done today? 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe this is number 4. Raleigh-Durham. Done. Done for the day. Here we are. Walking through Raleigh-Durham. Last flight of the day. 0 people here besides who was on our plane. How you feeling? You good? Yeah, I'm exhausted. Absolutely exhausted. So what do we do now? We call the hotel, tell them to send a shuttle because we want to sleep. I feel like we might be closed. Look, baggage claim, ground transport, escalators. Getting close to the end. End of what? What day are we on? Day 3. End of day 3. Here we go. We just learned that there is no shuttle. Need an Uber. Here we go. Number of the night.
okay, it is our last day. We're headed home today, hopefully. Everything has been really easy so far, so we'll see if today is the day that is not the case. Yesterday, where were we? We were in Puerto Rico.
San Juan.
Yeah, we went to Puerto Rico. We flew to St. Thomas and then back to Puerto Rico and then
Lauderdale. Fort Lauderdale.
Fort Lauderdale to Raleigh-Durham. So we had a later start in the day, but it was a like we weren't done until about 10 o'clock. We chose the Hyatt place for our hotel because it was close to the airport and they were supposed to have a shuttle, but it's not running. And then when we checked in, they weren't even sure if they were going to be able to provide breakfast in the morning, but they did. They had a little bit of stuff out there this morning. Apparently, what was the issue?
Ice.
Oh, ice.
There was ice, so people were not coming to work.
Yeah, people were not showing up for work, but had a little bit of food today, getting ready to head to the airport. And today we're going back to JFK. Unfortunately, can't say that's my favorite airport. And then we had a little bit of a change of plan. We were supposed to fly back into Jacksonville, but my husband has to go down to Tampa really quick. So we changed our flights this morning for an afternoon flight to Tampa instead. So that's what we'll be doing. How you feeling on this last day?
Good.
How do you feel about this trip versus the previous one?
This was actually a lot smoother.
Yeah.
Everything has gone well. No delays, no issues. So
yeah, and
so far it's been good.
I think it was helpful that whenever we had a long day, I would then the next day I made sure that I booked flights that were not super early in the morning, because I think last time around it was a bit brutal. So this time, if we make it to Tampa without a problem, we will have covered 8 more destinations. And I think the funniest part actually was yesterday on our flight to St. Thomas and back to San Juan. We actually found there were a lot of other people on that flight that were doing the same thing, just doing the JetBlue 25 for 25 challenge. So that was cool seeing those people, talk to them a little bit. Everybody has their own way of going about and doing this. One couple, it seems like they just would fly to 1 or 2 destinations, and they've just kind of been slowly accumulating. I think she said after this trip they were up to 22, so they're getting close to being done. And crazy enough, we decided yesterday that we will go and add 3 more destinations next week, and then we're still going to need a few more if we're getting to the full 25, so we got to try to figure that out. But if you look at the fares for the Caribbean in December, they get pretty expensive. So we're trying to get a few more places in November, right?
Yep. Before November is over, go to the Caribbean and then hopefully make another run at some point in December for the last 7 that we would need.
I think we need less than that. I think maybe it's just 6. I don't know. Hopefully we'll get this done. We'll see.
See what security is like at this one. Yes. How you feeling? Getting ready to get back on the big old blue. That was a Finding Nemo reference. Tampa. Let's see your last flight face. With that, we are done. Now to drive. It's Christmas in Tampa as well. And it's Phoebe.
So we just picked up our rental car because our car is actually still waiting for us in the Jacksonville garage. But we had to fly into Tampa for something really quick. So here we are. And the Tampa airport has gotten a lot nicer in recent years. We don't usually fly or utilize this airport very much, but If it wasn't for the traffic surrounding this area, we might. Anyhow, this trip I think was awesome for flights and a little bit of a disappointment on hotels. Strangely, half a mile. Stay to the left. What do you think? 5 south.
Yeah, flight went super smooth. The hotels were just a little bit more of a down, but we made it. So good.
And with this trip, we will have reached the first milestone bonus. So we will have done 15 destinations. So that means that we should be getting 150,000 bonus miles. So we'll see how long that takes for that to hit. And next week we're doing this again, I guess. We've got 3 destinations that we'll try to hit in the evening again before it gets too expensive to go back there. And then we'll have to figure out how in the world we're going to get those last few ones that we're going to need. So yeah, it's a good trip overall. Glad to be back in Florida.